fact, a thing that is known or proved to be true. It usually provides useful information, however, this time let's go over some facts from Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 that are pretty useless and that you can definitely live without. Left 4 Dead 2 was once boycotted. The people that bought the first game were promised consistent updates, but Valve had different plans in mind. Because exactly a year after Left 4 Dead 1's release, the second installment saw the light of day. Left 4 Dead 2 was in fact a much bigger and more fleshed out game that had more special infected and weapons than its predecessor. And this pissed a lot of people off to the fact that they created a whole community dedicated towards not buying and in general being against the release of Left 4 Dead 2. Before Left 4 Dead became Left 4 Dead, Turtle Rock Studios were the first ones to experiment with the idea of a zombie shooter before it was pitched to Valve by Chet Falasek. The main point of developing this game was to make a cooperative, teamwork-centered experience. When the rough idea was experimented on, the game's title was obviously not Left 4 Dead, but something a little less exciting by the name of Terror 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 or Blood Run. It all started out as a custom game mode for Counter-Strike. The founder of Turtle Rock Studios, Michael Booth, said that it was quite fun to mow down 30 or so bots running at you with knives.
While we were developing bots for Counter-Strike Source, we discovered that a few of us armed to the teeth with automatic weaponry against 30 knife-wielding enemy bots was a lot of fun.
The initial setting of the first game was supposed to be a lot more gritty and dark, judging from these beta models of the original survivors. Bill, Zoe, Lewis, and Francis all looked a lot more serious, especially Lewis. He basically looked nothing like his final release counterpart. Can't say the same thing about Left 4 Dead 2, however, because the only thing that really changed was the clothing colors of the survivors. At the time, violent and gory games were heavily restricted by some countries. In this case, Australia and Germany flat out refused to sell Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 if major changes were not made. For the Australian version, Valve had to cut all of the blood, gore, and bodies, but later in 2014, the uncut version of the game was made legal. For the German players, they received some special treatment, since the same cuts were made like in the Australian version, but they also received weapons that were ported from Counter-Strike Source that were not all that great. In 2021, Valve resubmitted the uncut game for evaluation and was finally approved to be sold in Germany. When loading into a level, you can see the campaign poster. Some of them have quite a few discrepancies. Here's a quick rundown. No Mercy shows the 4 survivors holding weapons that look nothing like actual weapons from the game. However, Zoe seems to be holding a default pistol that does look familiar, but her having what seems like 3 hands holding the gun make it really weird. In Crash Course, Zoe looks nothing like Zoe, and her hair is not tied into a ponytail. Death Toll and Dead Air share the same drawing of Francis. Blood Harvest sees Zoe like from the No Mercy poster, but standing up this time and also having the same 3 hands. The Sacrifice shows a new version of Zoe that doesn't look anything like her. Dead Center shows Rochelle dual-wielding a chainsaw with a machete. The cast also seems to be in the final area of the level that's littered with mannequins not present in the actual game. In the passing, there are the original survivors in the background that you can meet during the campaign, however Bill is supposed to be dead. They also seem to be copy and pasted from the Death Toll campaign and just darkened out. Dark Carnival's game location pales in comparison with the poster version. Swamp Fever sees the survivors holding more weapons that are not in the game. Hard Rain is almost perfect if not for Rochelle holding another weapon not present in the game. And finally in the Parish, Ellis seems to be wearing a green hat which is supposed to be blue. The different main menus are looped. The loop ends when an infected crosses the screen, fading the menu to black. NPCs that are not meant to be seen usually reuse character models. The Dark Carnival helicopter pilot reuses the Mercy Hospital pilot character model, and Whitaker can be seen when no-clipping into his survival shelter. He looks like a human version of the fallen survivor. Both the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 survivors made quite the journey, as can be seen from this real-life assumed path. The first games of survivors started off in Pennsylvania right up until Blood Harvest, where they were picked up by the military. They had to cut their way across West Virginia, Tennessee, a little bit of North Carolina, and finish their story in Georgia, Atlanta. The second cast of characters started in Georgia, Savannah, moving to Atlanta after Dead Center to meet the first games of survivors in the passing, later coming to Griffin and Dark Carnival, flying across Alabama, Mississippi, and coming to Louisiana in Swamp Fever. Then they cut through Mississippi for a refuel stop and finished their journey in Louisiana, New Orleans. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe since this really helps the channel. Thanks a lot. Out of the 12 canon campaigns, 8 are set in the nighttime and 4 are set in the daytime. Since Hard Rain has 5 chapters, 3 of which consist of playing in the nighttime, I would count it as a nighttime campaign. There are a lot of Easter eggs sprinkled in the achievements. Here's a few notable ones. 101 cremations, set 101 infected on fire. This is a parody of 101 Dalmatians. Spinal Tap, kill an infected with a single blow from behind. It is also the name of one of the medics' taunts in Team Fortress 2. Burn the Witch, light a witch with a Molotov. This is a reference to European witch trials and witch hunts, where suspected witches would be tried and, if convicted, executed via burning. Back to help, leave a safe room to save an incapacitated teammate and bring them back safely. The name of this achievement is clearly a pun of the game's title. Crowned, kill a witch with a single headshot. This is an amazing way of killing witches, and the easiest way to do it is to go up real close to a witch with a shotgun and have all the pellets hit her body, killing her instantly. Zombie Genocidist, kill 53,595 infected. In Dead Rising, killing all 53,594 zombies, the population of Willamette, where the game takes place, unlocks the Zombie Genocider achievement. Left 4 Dead 2 one-upped this with Genocidist, increasing the kill count by 1. The joke escalated across sequels, Dead Rising 2, 3, and 4 each adding 1 kill to the achievement requirement. The trend ended when Left 4 Dead 2's Last Stand update added Z Genocidist 2, Episode 2, requiring 53,599 kills. All 4 Dead, incapacitate or kill all 4 survivors in 1 life as a tank. Another pun of the game's title. Kill Bill, have Bill sacrifice himself for the team. This achievement shares its name with the 2003 movie of the same name. Armory of One, deploy an ammo upgrade and have your team use it. The name is a reference to the US Army slogan, an Army of One. Dismemberment Plan, kill 15 infected with a single grenade launcher blast. The name is a reference to the Death and Dismemberment Plan, an insurance policy taken out by Phil Connors, Bill Murray, in the 1993 film Groundhog Day.
I have not seen this guy for 20 years. He comes up to me and then he buys whole life term, Uniflex, fire, theft, auto, dental, health, with the optional death and dismemberment plan.
Violence and Silence, navigate the impound lot and reach the cemetery safe room without tripping any alarms. This may be a reference to the Depache mode, which is advertised on Rochelle's shirt song Enjoy the Silence with its lyrics, words like violence break the silence. Killing them swiftly to this song, play the new Midnight Rider song on a jukebox. The name alludes to the 70s hit song Killing Me Softly with this song. Still Standing, survive the Last Stand campaign on any difficulty. The name of the achievement is a reference to the song I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Gnome Alone, if you're reading this achievement, Gabe Newell has successfully launched Noam Chomsky into space. This achievement was added on the 19th of November 2020 to commemorate the SpaceX Crew 1 space mission on the 16th of November 2020. There aren't many NPCs in the game that are voiced, however those that are sound really familiar. That's because for the people who played other Valve games, for example Team Fortress 2, can recognize the iconic voices of the mercenaries in Left 4 Dead. The Mercy Hospital pilot is voiced by Spies and Pyrus' voice actor Dennis Bateman. The church guy is voiced by Scout's voice actor Nathan Vetterline. The bow owner from Death Toll is voiced by John Patrick Lowry, who also voices the sniper. Gary Schwartz, who voices Heavy, and Demoman also makes an appearance in Dead Air as the C-130 cargo plane pilot. There are 16 primary weapons that can use the laser sight, explosive ammo and/or incendiary ammo, and 1, the grenade launcher, that can be reloaded with the different ammo upgrades without the laser sight upgrade. 17 secondary weapons, 4 support items, 3 throwables, and 2 consumable items. In total, if we multiply all of the items and weapons, we get 40,392 different possible loadout combinations. The weapon with the lowest damage per shot goes to the Uzi, which is 20 damage. The weapon with the highest damage per shot goes to the grenade launcher. However, since it's a weapon that deals blast damage and it shoots grenades, not bullets or pellets, it's sort of unfair, so it's disqualified. That makes the tactical shotgun, if all of the 11 pellets hit, the winner with 253 damage per shot. All of the special infected have no shoes or both shoes on, except for the Charger, who only has 1 sneaker on his right foot. The Charger out of all of the special infected went through the most concept rewrites that we know of. Judging from all of the concept art, Valve did have the big arm idea in place, however they still tried to experiment with other ideas that didn't really work out. out. The Midnight Riders have a website that you can visit at any time. The most interesting part of it is their blog, where Jake, one of the members, oversees the page and writes about their album covers, and other band members, especially the drinker Ox, who sort of bullies Jake for having an attachment to their fans. The final message in their blog suggests that they are not scared of the green flu and that they will continue the tour until they stop breathing. In the beginning of Death Center, you can come across an infection ratio pie chart. This shows an estimation of each strain of the infection. Obviously, the most common are the regular infected. Out of the special infected, the Hunter seems to be the least uncommon, and the Tank is the rarest to come across. It also seems that the Witch hasn't been documented on simply because they're a much rarer strain, and since they get agitated very easily, any researcher would die on the spot. Nick has lipstick on his collar, a hickey on the neck, and scratches on his chest, probably implying that he was a little freaky before meeting the other survivors. There are a lot of graffiti everywhere in the game, and the ones that are named are usually real-life names of the developers and other members from Valve. Michael Booth, lead designer, developer, and founder of Turtle Rock Studios, Mark Bem, artist and illustrator, Ivan Simoncini, 3D designer, and Steve Bond, software developer, to name a few. But also, some of the graffiti reference other zombie media, for example, Dead Rising, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, and Plants vs. Zombies. In a nighttime campaign, you will always see a witch sitting down. On the other hand, during a daytime campaign, the witch can be seen wandering around. There are many ways of dismembering common infected, by shooting, slashing, or blowing them up. Unfortunately, special infected didn't get that kind of treatment, and it doesn't matter if you blow them up or cut them up with a chainsaw, they will always stay intact. Each bottle from the 6-pack of cola you get for Whitaker is 12 fluid ounces or 355 milliliters. In total, Whitaker gets 72 fluid ounces or 2.1 liters of Coke.
Just a 6-pack? I'll go through that in a day.
Out of all the playable survivors, Coach doesn't really have a name. In an interview with Chad Coleman, Coach's voice actor, he thinks that Coach's name would be Wendell Jones.
Or what would you name him, Coach? What do you think Coach's name is?
Oh, Coach's real name, wow. When I look at him, I think he would say, "How you doing? I'm Wendell Jones."
There was supposed to be a Cabin in the Woods campaign DLC, however, it was cut due to various delays. A cool Easter egg can be seen at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, where you can see the Witch, Tank, and Boomer in small boxes, besides other monsters from different media. In the Left 4 Dead 2 intro trailer, when the survivors are going up the stairs to the rescue chopper, Nick jokes to Coach about the helicopter being made out of chocolate.
Maybe the helicopter. Maybe it's made of chocolate.
The song that plays throughout the trailer is actually named Chocolate Helicopter. Well, here you have it, some extra useless facts about Left 4 Dead that you can definitely live without. What are you going to do with this information? I don't care, but make sure to tell everybody what you've learned today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.